This morning on a special edition of The Dish, we visit an old friend of the show, chef, cookbook author, and restaurateur, Michael Lomonaco. He spent his almost 40-year career in the kitchens of top-tier restaurants. I last shared a meal with him back in 2018.
This time, I got to join her, with the three of us sitting down at Porterhouse, his acclaimed New York City restaurant, to see what he has been up to.
Dana, I'm so glad you're here with us. Me too. Because this is one of my favorite spots. My very first dish with this guy right here, Michael Lomonaco. And look at this table. He always brings out the best.
I am almost without words to describe how much food is on this table.
A lot.
A lot.
And he feeds you.
What are you feeding us?
A snack. Well, we have a classic porterhouse steak, and we have a chili rubbed ribeye, a natural chicken roasted with natural juices and polenta.
And I'm starting to eat as you're describing.
Okay, me
keep
too.
going, keep going.
A lobster that's butter poached and finished with black truffles. Our famous crab cakes, some roasted carrots, and the spaghetti with Marcella Hazan's tomato sauce, which I learned to make from Marcella back in the 80s when I was still a student, and I make that dish for her.
What I was fascinated by in your story, actor turned chef. How does one make that turn from acting to doing all of this?
It was a pivot. It was definitely a pivot moment in my life where I was an actor, you know, doing my thing, making the rounds and driving a cab.
Driving a cab.
Driving a
I didn't
cab.
know the cab part.
Yeah.
That's even better.
And I met a famous chef, Patrick Clark, and I owe my livelihood to Patrick Clark, who was downtown, picked him up, took him home in the, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and he told me all about how he got his education and how he worked through his apprenticeship. And it so inspired me because I loved cooking. It was my passion. 6 months later, I registered in school and went back to school, retooled.
But
retooled.
Didn't he tell you go out and discover the world?
Well, actually, that's such an important characteristic for chefs. I think, you really need to kind of get out of your bubble and see what else is going on in the world. And Patrick, he had gone and studied in France, and I found that so inspiring that when I graduated school, I went to France, and I went to Italy, I went to Greece, and it was all part of my education.
I love food. I love cooking, not at the level you do. What is it? What's that button that for you it presses where it's like, this is what I have to do?
You know what? This is really the hospitality.